because of today's show topic, the payday loans. People will take out a loan to afford Christmas and things like that. And we've been discussing this, haven't we? That it's getting to the point where you're taking out loans to cover your bills, your basics, not because you're trying to be flash, or unless you're obviously trying to do, Christmas on a flash tip. But I'm just looking at it thinking, listen, the bailiffs, debt collectors, that's what we call them over here, if they're loving people when they go and buy their big screen TV and say, oh, well, I can't afford to pay so and so and so, because that's what they want to come and repossess. Now, link 6, K-Rolls. I've even got a picture, again, on social media. I posted this, people, just in case you know where to come and find me, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We posted this, okay? And link 6, K-Rolls, is how bailiffs reap the fraudulent rewards of their phantom visits. Remember we were talking about this earlier? I said that some of them will come round and try and gain access to people's homes so they can take away your TV and your goods and say, well, this is what you owe and I'm taking this to the tune of. Some of them will do that, and what they do, why they say it's fraudulent phantom visit, is because they're going to bill the company that sent them round, and they'll say, oh, it was a 3-man job when it was actually a 2-man job. Or even a 1-man job. That's the bailiff turning up and doing what he's doing. Listen, when they come round, let me say this. They'll turn up and they will charge you like £260 or something like that just to turn up. Okay? You probably didn't even know they wanted to come and turn up on you because they don't tell you when they're coming. They just come. And they'll leave you a note if they can't get in and say, okay, we came today. We're going to charge you £260 for this visit. Next time we come here, we're going to charge you another 200 and whatever for the visit. And that's on top of the debt that you already owe now, people. Okay?
And you have to pay it back.
Yeah, that's what they want extra, because as far as they're concerned, we're going to charge you for making us come and chase you for the debt. So we'll charge you extra. And then obviously I'm sure they want to try and put interest on that. Hello?
But see, they in the United States, that they don't do that. Now, that's some insane stuff.
Listen, I told you they're crazy.
They don't do that. They will charge you interest charges. And the other piece of this that I wanted to make sure I ask you about, in the United States, the thing is bad debt. So they will basically have, let's say, a credit card issuer will have all these people that say, okay, they close their account. So those accounts may add up to be $100,000 in amounts that the credit card company allowed the customer to spend. They'll sell that $100,000 worth of bad debt to a collection agency for $10,000. And that collection agency then starts the process of collecting the debt in the United States. They start making the calls and saying, hey, John Doe, you have a credit card bill that was written off by the bank for $5,000. If you pay us $2,500, we'll basically report that it was paid after you got it closed off. That's how it works over here. Do they do that in the UK?
Again, yeah, they definitely sell off your debts, because that's how people realise that, a bailiff's coming for them. Okay. Because what's happened is the debt has been sold to a bailiff to collect, and then the bailiff will turn up on behalf of the company to collect the money, but then obviously how the bailiff makes their money is that they will charge you extra.
For the visit. So not
just for the visit. They charge you for the visit, but they actually add money to the bill. So say I owe some company £100. If I haven't paid by a certain time, the company might get fed up and say, right, we're going to sell it on to Mr. Baxter's bailiffs. So after that, you can't talk to the company no more, because they said, no, you can't talk to us no more because you didn't pay the bill in full. If you pay the bill in full to us right now, then everything's fine. But if not, you have to start talking to Mr. Baxter's bailiffs, for example. So Mr. Baxter's bailiffs will start contacting you, and they will tell you that you have to pay them. And if you enter into an agreement, then fine, and you keep to it, then they won't come to your house. But if you don't, they'll start coming to your house and charging you to come to your house. But even if they don't come to your house, they're still adding extra. So my £100 could turn into £120 because I've had to pay an extra £20 to Mr. Baxter's bailiffs. You see what I mean? Right. So whichever way you look at it, you're still paying more, basically.
Right. And so it goes back to how you pay your bills, and if you pay your bills and things like that. I mean, when I was younger, I had issues with, big things happened, and during the 9/11, I had things that I did, stock market type things. And so there were things that happened to you. But you
Yeah.
have to take your time to get back to where you should be. You shouldn't try and run down to the water and drink. Walk down there and drink more than the people that run down there because they're out of breath. That's how I look at it.
Well, sometimes, boy, listen, it don't always work that way.
No, it
Though.
doesn't. It does not. I agree with that 100%.
Sometimes you're really struggling. Oh my goodness! Now this link came. It's crazy. When I saw, I like to send you pictures and get a little bit crazy sometimes. But link 7, the benefits and problems that come with cash advances. Now this article is very interesting to me because the picture from it alone was funny. Because I looked at that and I thought, you know what, that is just so true. Bills aren't always due after payday, isn't it? Because but if you see the little comic, I sent it to you, that goes with it, and I posted this, people. You can find it online. I posted it on the Facebook page and I posted it on Twitter as well. It's so funny. It's basically when you look at it and it says, the day after payday or the day before payday, when you're sitting there and you look broke, you got no money, you're stressed, you're waiting for that money to come in, you're literally on your hands and knees just waiting, you're sort of when you're ticking down,
just surviving.
Yeah, sometimes you ain't even surviving, you're literally sitting there and you're just looking crazy because you run out of everything and you ain't got no money. You're literally waiting for the money to hit your account so you can spend. Oh my God. I know it's in our societies. We are really obsessed with money and it's a shame, but it's like, that's how we've been conditioned to be, because without it, materially, you can't do anything. You can't eat, you can't keep a roof over your head, you can't travel, you can't do nothing. You can't put clothes on your back and shoes on your feet. You are struggling. And if it's just you on your own, that's bad enough. Now imagine when you have a child or children, plural, hello, it's not just you got to worry about, is it?
And that adds to the stress.
Exactly. And you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? I mean, you were asking me, weren't you, off air, about payday loans and not realizing that over here in the UK, we are on it so crazy now. But I think it started because of the recession, why it has, taken off in such a big way. And it's just sort of carried on. Because it's like the last resort for some people. And we've already discussed it, isn't it? If your job is not paying or you've lost your job and you can't get credit from the bank and you have to be earning money in the first instance to be able to pay it back. But if you lose your job and then you end up on benefits, obviously circumstances change, as we've already said. What do? How can you survive in the first instance? And then obviously, how can you hope to pay back these things that you may have loaned? It's like a spiral that you're not sure you're ever going to get out of, isn't it?
But don't you think it goes to the very beginning? It goes to thought process. Mm-hmm. And if you either learn or you're taught to think a certain way, that you would not find yourself in some of the situations that you can find yourself in, and that's financially and emotionally and because you talk about things, and we've talked about it on the show, where you may give someone your thoughts on something. You're not trying to tell them what to do. You give them the advice, and then when they don't take it, and then they come back to you and they're still whining about something, and you're looking at them like, why are you even talking to me about this?
Yeah, after a while, people, that really, we're going to do a show on this, I have to say, because that's going to start to annoy me. I ain't being funny, but people don't listen already. But why they keep coming back to you with the same thing?
but that's, again, that's where I was going with this. It's the same thing when it comes to how people work and they deal with their finances. They don't want to think about having to pay something if they can just go and buy it and not think about paying for it. I mean, it's just the reality of the world that we live in. And so, if I know that one thing that Big D from, Big D and the D Show, he's another personality on SoMetro Radio, he said something yesterday or a day before yesterday on Throwback Thursday that I really had to think about. He said a couple of things, and Big D normally don't say nothing I think about. I'm playing, D. I know. I'm playing. You'll hear this. I'm playing. But he said basically money is just ink on paper. It is something that was created so that we can get different things and we can exchange for services or goods or whatever. But it really, literally, is just ink on paper.
That's it, because before money, what do we have? The bartering system, isn't it? You give me 2 cows and I'll give you, I don't know, 10 sheep or something. you know? But see, now you were asking me, how did it come about? Now, I was doing my research, and link 5, Keros, the history of payday loans. Now, you are very right. As far as I can see, it originated with your good selves in the United States.
Thanks. We're so proud of ourselves for that.
But now, right, it's taken over here, and as I said, it's because of, post 2008 recession, big time, and other things they say that are also coming into our, they call it the lexicon, I'm calling it the dictionary, because it's triple dip, food banks, we could talk about those all day long, quantitative easing, which is not a jot, I might add. As far as I'm concerned, I ain't seen the benefits of no quantitative easing. Hell no, sorry. I just haven't seen that. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just not working. And the payday loans, the only people who are actually benefiting are those people that obviously own those types of companies. Because who else is going to benefit from that kind of thing?
That's how the rich, unfortunately, get richer.
Yeah, but I mean, oh my God. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, why would somebody feel that that's a good way to earn a living? Almost. I mean, obviously, I'm sure it's a service. We know it's a service that's needed, but I don't think I'd want to have that type of business because could you really see yourself having to pester people for the money when you know that they can't afford it? Obviously, you say, don't borrow the money in the first place, but because link 8, the payday lenders are saying don't call them loan sharks. But I'm not being funny. It's a rose by a different name, innit?
Yes.
You just think, hello, you are.
And my name is Rose, so I do understand that.
There was no pun intended. But I look at it and I just think, oh my God. But link 9, the problem debt cost the UK economy 8.3 billion, and that's by the estimate of a charity. People, what do you think? Because as far as I'm concerned, all I'm seeing is negative, negative, negative in every sense of the word. There's nothing positive about a payday loan, except for the initial euphoria that you may feel when you get your little money that you're trying to get from these people. Okay, that's really and quickly going to disappear and dissipate when you start getting pestered on a regal scale for that money back. And if your circumstances have changed since you took it out, oh, help you, God, because you're going to be like, oh, please, just leave me alone. It's getting to the point where people start changing their phone number. I mean, come on, remember I told you about what the man did? He tried to fake his own death. He tried to fake his own death because he was trying to get away from these payday loan people. I remember seeing it. Did you see it at the beginning of that program? They were airing phone calls, and one of the guys said, why do you keep calling me? He said, you called me yesterday, you called me the day before, and I died laughing. I'm thinking, listen, mate, they're going to keep calling you till you either drop down dead or pay up. Obviously they want it to be the latter,
right?
Because the former ain't no good, if you're dead. And another thing, if you're dead, depending on what kind of loan it is and so on and so forth, sometimes they may be trying to pester your family for it,
yes,
which you don't want. Okay, so when he said that, I was like, look, you took out this money, they ain't going to leave you alone until you pay it back.
Even in death, they're not leaving you alone.
Even in death, they want you. But actually, I can go into that because there are some actual, not loopholes, but just things that they say people can think about, basically what happens to your debt when you die, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure obviously I assume it does depend on the type of debt that you have and things like that. But you don't have to pay it. Obviously you are deceased, so you are not going to be the one that's going to be responsible for paying it back. But it's basically to say that you don't have to pay it back because link 34. Okay, Rose. What happens to your debt when you die? To a certain degree, they have to write it off. Obviously, it depends on how much it is and what it's for and blah 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 blah. But I want people to take heart in knowing that, obviously I'm not saying go out there and take out loads of debt and then just say, oh, whatever, if I don't pay it back by the time I'm dead, whatever, tough. No, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, if you get into the unfortunate situation that, you are still owing money upon your death, there may be